Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Got some super fun stuff for you guys here today with Super Shredder. But before we get into that, I did want to talk about Dimir Midrange. So I've posted a lot about Dimir on this channel, and I've had a lot of people asking for updates on Dimir Midrange. I was working really hard to try and see if the new cards are good enough, how Dimir is doing in the current format, and currently I'm kind of at the conclusion that mid-range decks are just really, really hard to pull off right now in standard, and there's a couple reasons for that. The first one is when you look at a lot of the other decks, like the Cub decks or Landfall, Lessons, there's Prowess, and now the new mono white deck that's cropping up. That's what I'd kind of put as the top of the metagame right now. All of these decks just do such a good job of getting a board state or getting some kind of synergy online that's literally unbeatable. You know, you got artist talent plus monument to endurance. You've got the mono white deck just spewing creatures onto the battlefield and then using the abandoned air temple to just keep putting counters and going over the top. Of course, Landfall is kind of the most obvious one for this. You get Sapling Nursery, Fecund Green Shell, if you're running those cards, or even if not, you just put so much power and toughness into play. It can be hard to keep up as any kind of mid-range deck. I do want to talk about that in kind of a more in-depth edited video about why I don't think mid-range decks are doing very well right now. Um, and then Prowess too. It's such a hard time for Dimir to get anything going. It feels like everybody has pretty good answer to Kaito or they don't care. It's so easy to flood out. Which is another thing that kind of has led to a downfall in mid-range decks is that the aggro decks, like you look at Prowess, you look at the black-red monument deck, and even the white one, those are very, very aggressive decks, and Cub too, and they still have an insane late game. Like, cards have been pushed to the point where even the aggro decks can just keep drawing cards later in the game, and so something like Creature of the Schism or Kaito or even Curiosity still, it keeps you up on cards. Like you can get a lot of value, but other decks are doing similar things, drawing more cards for less amounts of mana. Um so yeah, I don't really want to be working on a deck that I don't think is very well positioned at the moment. I think with the rise of this mono white deck and Prowess, those are like pretty hard matchups for Dimir. Um but I don't think the deck is completely unviable. I think if you're gonna play a mid-range deck, it's pretty much the best thing you can do. And yeah, there is a list I want to highlight from Scott McNamara because I don't have anything made for you guys. I tried out all the new cards. Shredder and Dream Beavers and even Donatello's Technique I was trying. They felt okay, but it didn't feel like it was solving Dimir's problems. So yeah, let me just show you a list real quick where kind of a good place to start or go if you do want to play Dimir, but that's not what we're doing today, and we'll get to that in a second. This is Scott McNamara, Oaf McNamara, his top 8 list from a challenge the other day. He's got the Deceit Cavero thing, which is something you can be doing, but there's a lot of other things more so that I really want to talk about with this list that I really like. The 12 1-drops I think are really, really good. I think that's kind of where you want to be. 12 1-drops for Kaito, and I like that he's also kind of looking for a way to get away from Enduring Curiosity. That card feels a little bit slow. Obviously, it's super powerful, but with everybody having so many bounce spells or just being able to get on board so much faster, it's kind of hard for you to keep up. So lowering the curve, trying to get under people, is I think where you should be with Dimir, seeing if you can make it more of an aggressive deck. Lower to the ground for Hex is really, really nice. Um, and other than that, I think you could swap out the Deceit and Cavero. I think he talked about it too. Swapping out the Deceit and Cavero for Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man, for Curiosity and Tidebinder, which I think you could do as well. And then if you don't love Super Shredder, Deep Cavern Bat is still there in that slot. I would recommend that over the Bitterbloom Bears that I was trying. Um, and yeah, I think this is a good spot to start with in this deck. The Wan Shi Tong main deck, also a really good idea with the amount of landfall. Oh, the other thing I want to say about Super Shredder, and we're going to be playing Super Shredder today, so we will talk about that, but super good against landfall. Like, it's like you get your own chocobo in play that triggers every time they sacrifice a land. So very good against landfall, gets really big, and can kind of run away with the game. But yeah, hopefully you get to see that today. And let's get into the deck that I actually do have planned for today, because it's a really sweet one. And I think it solves a lot of the issues that Dimir was having. So this is what I've been up to cooking in the lab. Is Dimir Viper. So essentially, the base of this deck is you want to use Obsessive Pursuit with Umbral Color Zealot and Rottenmouth Viper are your sack outlets. You also kind of have Super Shredder as another Obsessive Pursuit, but Pursuit is probably better in this deck. Sack a bunch of permanents, and then you attack with one of your cheaper creatures, make a giant lifelink threat, and have a Viper in play, and they just can't come back from that. So that's kind of the idea behind this deck, is you get a bunch of tokens into play, play a Rottenmouth Viper, and attack with big creatures. And yeah, so the reason I'm trying this out over stock Dimir Midrange is this deck does have the ability to go over the top. Whereas Dimir, like, if you're playing a Dreambeavers on turn 4, it's not really doing a lot against most of the decks in Standard. But if you can make 2 10 or 11 power creatures, then that can overpower even some of the go big decks in Standard right now, which kind of feels like a lot of them. And then yeah, I have 4 Grimbauble. I mean, I've tried builds of this deck before that don't have as much cheap removal. It has like nowhere to run and stuff like that. But Grimbauble with Boomerang basics is just like, it's your way of keeping up with the Elf and Cub and super aggressive decks. Like, this is what you need in this format to just have enough 1 mana removal. And outside of that, you're kind of trying to go over the top of everything else. So I don't feel like you need a ton of other removal. It's kind of, if people can get mana advantage, that's really when they start to take over. But it answers a lot of the big threats in the format, like Grimbauble hits Llanowar Elf, hits Badgermole Cub, hits basically everything out of Dimir if you're worried about that. It hits Iron Shield Elf. It hits Gran is a huge one. It hits Slickshot Show Off, Otters, Momo. It hits a lot of good stuff. So I have Grimbauble. It's also just so efficient being a 1 mana artifact. And then kind of the enablers of this deck. So we got Boomerang Basics and Grimbauble. But then, yeah, the enablers of this deck, we have Spyglass Siren and Stormchaser's Talent, both 1 mana cards that put 2 permanents into play. And Springleaf Drum essentially does the same thing for Rottenmouth Viper. You play a Springleaf Drum and you have a Spyglass Siren or literally any creature in play, you can tap it for a mana and then still sack it to the Rottenmouth Viper. So all of these are kind of like 1 mana rituals that stay on the board for Viper. You can pretty consistently play a turn 3 Viper, which sometimes is good enough. Sometimes you need that with Obsessive Pursuit or Super Shredder. But it's not super hard to do, especially with the addition of Springleaf Drum. I felt like a little too slow and clunky, and then I added Springleaf Drum to the deck, and it's just been phenomenal. And it also let me go down on lands, which I was flooding out a lot. I did have, in the Riddler spot, I had Cryogen Relic, just as more things to Boomerang Basics, but I basically found that I almost always wanted Cryogen Relic to be the last card I played, and Riddler does essentially the same thing. Like, I've played Riddler and sacked it to get an extra trigger on Obsessive Pursuit or Super Shredder a number of times, and it's been really good. So Riddler also comes down with Springleaf Drum, so it kind of gets you more mana advantage if you're a little lighter but you need to get a Viper into play. And yeah, that's the main deck. Super fun. Gonna play a league with that today. Sideboard, we've got Disdainful Strokes for like Landfall, and decks with Wraths in them. The Superior Doomsday combo, whatever that is. We got 0 Point Ballad, which I think is pretty good against the Cub decks as well as the mono white decks. You kind of get to a point where you're like board stalled against them. Neither of you have the best answers to each other's engine cards. So this is just like a really big mirror breaker, essentially. Then I have Kaito. My plan for Kaito, I haven't actually played against Lessons yet, but my plan is just like bring it in against Lessons and cut some of the creatures that like get removed really easily. So kind of try and be just more of a aggro deck than trying to do the obsessive pursuit combo stuff. Probably cut the super shredders there. And then the ooze is my graveyard hate. This card is really good. I think this is going to be a sideboard staple in standard. That's my take. That's my pick from this set of the most played card from TMNT. The ooze is really, really strong. If you remember Unlicensed Hearse, it's very similar to that, only it only exiles one card a turn, but it's exile any card from a graveyard, and it just keeps making these tokens. Like, essentially, if you have an ooze in play, every single one of your creatures in the late game is going to be ginormous. If they kill it, you get all the tokens back. So, really strong card. Maybe could be in the main deck, but right now we're just trying it there. Then I got Duress, Intimidation Tactics, the usual black sideboard cards, and that's the deck. So yeah, let's get into some matches with the deck, have some fun. Now, it's not the most tuned thing ever, which I do want to do a lot of really strong decks, but I did want to give people an option for a Dimir deck to play, since my favorite two colors, and there is quite a bit of overlap in the cards, at least for the mana base, which can be pretty expensive in standard nowadays. So yeah, let's get into it and super shred some people, and I hope you guys enjoy. Right, on the draw for the first match here. 5 lands, 2 Grim Baubles, not what you want to see with this deck, so let's send it back. And this is exactly what you want to see. Hopefully going to be able to do some of the craziest stuff starting in the first game. Deciding whether I want to send back the Springleaf Drum or the Storm Chaser's Talent. And Springleaf Drum is just going to be really good at letting us get online on turn 3. So let's send back the talent and hope to not run into a ton of removal. But even if we do, we got the Viper that we're going to be able to cast. And yeah, Spyglass Siren. So up against probably Dimir is what you'd think. Let's play this out. Actually, maybe should have played the Springleaf Drum first, just to not expose the Siren to removal. Or if they have Flood Pits Drowner. Yeah, we definitely should have done that. Because if they have Drowner, we could go Springleaf Drum. Okay, they just go for a map. And attack. Not gonna block, good sir. Bloom Lake Verge, Dream Beavers. Sure. So, starting town. We can go ahead and play that, play Springleaf Drum, and then use the Springleaf Drum to play Obsessive Pursuit this turn, and hope that our opponent goes for a Kaito. Because if they do, we're gonna hit them big. Dream Beavers, so no Kaito to start. Don't know about any of the cards in their hand. With the Swamp being played, and they get in for 2. Flood Pits Drowner, sure. So Spyglass Siren gets tapped down. Draw for turn. Just gonna deploy a bunch of threats here. So we can go Spyglass Siren. I want to make sure I have 3 things to sacrifice for next turn. But if I go Umbral Color Zealot now, and then Rottenmouth Viper, we pay... Well, let's pay the black mana first. So pay black, and then sacrifice 5 things. I think I'm going to sacrifice the tapped down Siren, both the clues, just because they're harder to crack, and we will get more. And then drum and a map, and we'll keep one of the maps. So this is kind of the goal of this deck. Obviously, if we had the Spyglass Siren untapped, we would have been able to attack for 6 lifelink here, which would have been pretty nice. But still not bad. We got a Rottenmouth Viper in play. Opponent is attacking for 3. That's fine. No blocks. Probably just going to put a Kaito into play. Sure. So if they have a land, then they're going to be able to block. We go down to 5, which means they're going to keep the Kaito alive, which is not the greatest, but it's possible they don't have a land. No land is great for us. So, you can let this resolve. Another thing you can do is surveil in the upkeep. Which I don't think I need to do, because I can crack the clue and surveil that way. So let's just draw, find Boomerang Basics. So the best thing to Basics is probably the Pursuit, and that gives us another clue to sacrifice. So let's just do that, and then we're going to be able to kill the Kaito. Now we can sack the map to do this, rather than just sack it to Umbral Color Zealot, and we'll still have 2 permanents to sacrifice. Make sure we get the lifelink online. Boomerang Basics. I think I will take another Basics. It's just going to be an easy way to get Kaito out of the way. Attack Kaito. And, yep. 3 counters there. Go up to 10 life. Still a little bit scary here. I imagine it's another Kaito. I'm just going to say no blocks. No Kaito. I don't know, the Basics maybe isn't great here. Might let us untap a creature. A couple removal spells would be pretty devastating now, though. Spyglass Siren, and we know they have a Beaver in hand as well. But it looks like they have either a 2-mana removal spell or a Floodpits Drowner. So, question is, what do we want to do? Rottenmouth Viper is untapping next turn, so I really want to make sure I just can live. So is there a way to get up to 3 permanents sacrificed? Not really on board. I think we're going to just start by cracking a clue. Find a swamp. Which is not ideal. I can bounce the Obsessive Pursuit, and that would, post-combat maybe, and that would allow me to not die from it. Let's go to combat. Letting us attack makes sense, because there's not really a lot for us to do if we do attack. Yeah, putting this Boomerang Basics on top was not maybe the best choice. So we know they have Dream Beavers, which means we're going to 4 next turn. So we kind of just need to leave everybody back. And I think bounce our own Obsessive Pursuit so we don't die to damage. Okay. Nice. That's very good. Grim Bobble. See if they have... I guess I should have done this pre-combat. So we will... They have another Kaito. We're just going to die. I guess we just want to hit one of the flyers, and we'll hit the Dream Beaver. Flood Pits, is that enough by itself to kill us? Yes, it is. Because they have 4 damage to us, and then, oh, so I guess we should have, if we had killed a Flood Pits Drowner, we wouldn't be just dead on board here. Because they have another Dream Beavers in hand. That's why this is killing us. We'll go to 1. but probably wouldn't be able to stabilize anyway. Okay, so losing game 1 to Dimir. Hey, I don't hate it. I don't know. This is the other thing I was, maybe you can go down on lands in Dimir, and that would help. But yeah, if they can just always end on 3 lands and have a bunch of 1-drops, then I do think Dimir could be pretty good, but I don't know. I was just getting flooded a ton in the testing. But if I'm going to lose to something, happy it's Dimir Midrange. I think I want the 0-point ballads here. They just have so many X ones. And what's not great here? I think we want all the card draw. I think Obsessive Pursuit actually isn't the best. It just, the life loss is pretty big, and they're usually able to answer our stuff pretty efficiently. It could be a Kaito matchup as well. I don't really want to do that into like a bunch of Tidebinders. I think let's just start with the 0-point ballads. Don't want to cut Riddler against them. That card is just great. I think we could cut Storm Chaser's talent, maybe a couple of those. Just we're not going to want them if we're putting a bunch of little creatures into play. And then I think an Umbral Caller Zealot is just like really easy to kill as well. It could be a Super Shredder that gets cut. Yeah, maybe that's better. Maximize the ways we can do Obsessive Pursuit shenanigans. Right, get to be on the play this game. That's always nice. 1 swamp, no castable spells. Let's throw this back. And this is better. I think we're going to keep this. We do have Riddler to kind of try and unmulligan us. Throw back a Multiversal Passage. And see what we can get done. Maybe a big Shredder takes it. They're in a Mold of 6-2. Alright, so let's get it started with Spyglass Siren. Spyglass Siren into Shredder. Into Riddler. Warping out will trigger the Super Shredder. Start with a Restless Reef, love to see it. And there's a Rottenmouth Viper. I would happy to see as well. So we could just play that on turn 3, but this is definitely not the matchup for it. Because they just have a lot of answers to it. I'd love to draw another 1-drop, maybe a Springleaf Drum, or another Spyglass Siren would be pretty great, and then we'll get to draw 2 off the Riddler and put a bunch more permanents into play. I'd also be happy with Obsessive Pursuit, of course. Spyglass Siren, perfect. Alright, so let's pay the 2 for it. And play Siren. Then I'll just go to combat. Blood Pit's Drowner, sure. Tapping down Super Shredder. So we'll just get in for 1 and play the Riddler second main. Draw 2. Nice ones. Shredder up to 2 power. This thing grows really, really fast. Deep Cavern Bat. Fine. Probably going to have to take the Grim Bubble. Yep. Second Restless Reef. I'll block. 2 more counters on Super Shredder. And another Umbral Caller Zealot. So let's start by attacking. And then I think I just want to put 2 ginormous things into play. So we'll sack these 3 things. Yes. And play out the Rottenmouth Viper. Shredder now up to 7. See what they decide to do. They lose 4. Hex and removal spell would be pretty bad. No blocks. Kaito would also be a bit scary. I guess it's probably Flood Pits. Yeah. Right. We find Storm Chaser's Talent. It's a pretty nice one. And we get to play Umbral Color Zealot. That Deep Cavern Bat was actually kind of brittle. I don't know, maybe it was too early to play the Rottenmouth Viper as well. Maybe try to force their removal out beforehand. Let's block this, force them to shuffle in. Just Kaitoing. That's fine. So trade there. Watery Grave. Bat comes back down, takes the Grimbauble. Probably gonna die to this Kaito though. Are they -2ing or what? No. Okay. So that's gonna help us pressure it a little bit. Find a swamp is not great. Would love to get up to this Riddler, but gonna take some time. Gonna attack Kaito. This untaps next turn. I don't think a block would have been horrible for them there either. Alright, they're going to combat. Sure. Take 4. Kept 1 on top. Bloodmaw. Maybe that's another good piece of tech right now for the deck. Floodmaw into Bat. Okay. But unless they have a removal spell as well. Let's start by Warping Riddler. And let's bounce that. Grimbauble the other one. And kill Kaito? If they have a land, they can go Bat plus attack with a Restless Reef. We're just kind of looking to get these Riddlers in play. They do have that. I think it probably would be better to activate the Soulstone, yeah, because they get to keep that one in play. Okay. I get to now boomerang my Grimbauble. Grimbauble. Deep Cavern Bat. And I could put a Viper into play, but that doesn't seem the best. I'm going to get in with one of these. To keep applying some pressure and then play out this one. It's possible they're experiencing the patented Dimir flood. Right. No attacks, no nothing. Okay. So I think here I'm just going to play the Rottenmouth Viper, then I don't take any damage from my lands. Oh, I have to cast it with its additional cost. Attacking these 2. Okay. And then next turn I can start deploying Riddlers. Alright, they lose the life. And not going to attack into Restless Reefs, so let's pass. That does mean they like the cards in their hand. That's scary. Curiosity's one of them, sure. I think the card I was scared the most of was Flood Pit Drowner there. Kaito, sure. So tap down my Viper. And just pass. So I could attack Kaito with all three. But if they take it, I'm just dead on board. I could attack them with all three, and then they have to block at least one thing. So I guess the best play is just attack Kaito with one, try and trade a creature off. And then play a Riddler. We attack it with two, they don't block, we're also dead on the next turn, so just get in with one of them. Okay, take that trade. Oh, they do get to activate the other Soulstone. Interesting. And we'll deploy a Riddler. Another Rottenmouth Viper. Now, if they have removal, if they find a removal spell, I think we still just die. Yeah, they had some pretty good cards as the last couple. So tap down Riddler makes sense. Animate Restless Reef. And then we'll block the 2/3 power things. Unless they have removal. No removal is nice to see. But yeah, they still get to draw a card. So if they ever find something for the second Riddler as well, we're just gonna die. Well, let's see what we find. Starting town. Not doing a ton, so gotta just deploy this. Hope they can't kill us. Cross our fingers and pray. If we get to untap with this Rottenmouth Viper, we win. If not, we're gonna lose. Well, obviously, if we don't get to untap, we'll lose. But yeah, they need a 2-mana removal spell or a Flood Pit Drowner. Or I guess another Flood Maw. Alright, they didn't have it, so we get that game. Very scary stuff. I honestly, okay, I think cutting these Storm Chasers talents was a mistake. I don't know if I actually want the 0-point ballads or if I just want to try and get under them. Umbral Color Zealot didn't look great. I kind of, my feeling is that these Obsessive Pursuits might not be incredible. Like, I don't think we want to turbo out the Rottenmouth Viper. I think we'd rather just play it slow and, like, go a little bit bigger than them. Let's try this. On the draw. Scary place to be, but really good hand. If they play a 1-drop, I kind of want to get the Grimbauble in play so they can't bat it. They're on a mulligan to 5. Yikes. Tap land to start. All right. Nice. I think I'm going to lead on the Spyglass Siren. Well, maybe I probably should have led on the talent. It just puts more damage into play. I was thinking I might want to try and use this to hit a 3rd land. We found it regardless. Let's get in for 1. Actually, maybe we shouldn't have attacked, because now they can go Drowner into Kaito. That's one way to lose. They have a Phantom Interference. I will not pay no to prevent this. Alright, and no 3rd land. Ooh, yay. Oh, yeah. Yes. Get in for 1. Now we can go Shredder plus talent. Oh, just saw in the chat, our opponent wanted to play open deck list, which I would have loved to do. Open deck list is awesome. I could have showed you guys kind of how you can think about the game for an RC. They're preparing for an RC. Blood Maw, that's fine. Okay. Let's start with basics, a talent. See if they Tidebinder this. Yeah, I think they're going to. That's going to turn out really well for us. Because we'll be able to go Grimbauble, kill that, Storm Chaser's talent, and then I honestly don't even think we want to do that here. I was really itching to pull the trigger on the Rottenmouth Viper, but the fact that we'd have to sacrifice 2 creatures makes it probably not great. I'm going to put the 0-point ballad into the yard. Alright, and we get the match win. Fortunate Moldify for the game 3, but we'll take those. Pretty good showcase for the deck to start, and yeah, let's move on. Alright, unfortunately, I think the first half of this match got corrupted. We've been going back and forth. The current position we're in is we have to dig deep for a obsessive pursuit to try and kill in the air next turn, or maybe something else that can get the job done. And our opponent has a giant Keen-Eyed Curator. Although if they tap out a land, will do it too. Get Badgermole Cub. Earthbend over there. Let's see, they have an Overlord in hand as well that we bounced last turn after it came off of Impending. They're not attacking, though. That's a good sign for me. So let's sack a couple of these Grimbaubles, see if we can get what we need. Springleaf Drum, not it. We can afford to sacrifice 2 more of these here and still have enough. I think I'll take a Boomerang Basics. Let's think, what can I do with this? So I could just bounce the Keen-Eyed Curator and get in, crack a map on maybe the Umbral Caller Zealot. They have 2 blockers. Or if I bounce my own Grimbauble, that's 2 prowess triggers, and I crack a map, and it's able to find a non-land, then we can get that out of the way and still have 3 things that get through. So that's just lethal. So let's go for that play. We're going to bounce our own Grimbauble, kill the Badgermole Cub, actually maybe kill the starting town to force them to use mana. And then try and attack for lethal. No, we're going to kill the Badgermole Cub, because otherwise they could tap this now, play a removal spell, and then still have 2 blockers. Find Springleaf Drum. That doesn't really help. It does help us, so we're going to have to find a non... we're going to have to turn this map into a mutagen to win this game. So we're going to want to sacrifice to make sure we can hit a non-land on top. Let's see. Grimbauble is a non-land. Keep that there. And do I want a Grimbauble on top? Okay. They saw the line, and we get there in game number 1 up against green-black Cub. Green-black something. From what I saw, I think I want the tactics and the ballads. And kind of my thought process for this kind of matchup is your Boomerang Basics are really good with Grimbauble, and they're like fine as bounce spells, so you kind of just have enough that you're able to cut Storm Chaser's talent, which also makes a lot of sense with putting 0-point ballads in your deck. And then I think Riddler can be a little bit slow, So I'm going to trim at least one Riddler. And then the last couple cards are another question. I think I like having the Boomerang Grimbauble stuff. So let's just go one more Talent, one more Riddler. Those seem like kind of the weakest cards in this matchup, and we'll get into game number 2. Again, still working out. There's some issue where my camera keeps turning off, which then is causing... My camera's turning off, and then when I try to unplug it and replug it back in, it stops the entire row of like devices from working. So like the other stuff that's plugged in there, my mouse and my hard drive, which I'm recording onto the hard drive. So then there's insufficient disk space because the hard drive is gone, and then I have to just restart the recording. But yeah. See what they do here. No turn 1 play is nice, because now I'm going to get to do Springleaf Drum on 1. Nice, another Grimbauble I will take. Springleaf Drum on 1, and then go Umbral Caller Zealot plus Grimbauble on turn 2. We'll try and turbo out Rottenmouth Viper. Dredger's Insights, okay. Maybe we're just going to want to play the Pursuit this turn then. See what we find. Second Pursuit. Yes, I think I still just want to play the Zealot and pass. I'd like to get a creature out before I get these Pursuits down so that I can start going crazy with the Rottenmouth Viper. They just hex it though. Fine. They're playing the real slow game. Alright. Well, no creatures, unfortunate, but let's just get these Pursuits down. We'll put that on Island. We already have one on Swamp. Not pay 2 life. And yeah, just looking for some creatures. But opponent not really doing anything, so. Maybe a 4-drop, maybe an Ouroboros, or Nature's Rhythm, X equals 2, sure. Badger Mole Cub, sure. Gonna definitely kill that one. Find a swamp. Go kill the cub. And just sacrifice 1, 2, 3. Rottenmouth Viper. If they kill this, it's gonna be pretty scary, but if they don't kill it, we're hitting for like 1 billion next turn with 2 Obsessive Pursuits and the Rottenmouth Viper on 3 trigger. So we'll see. They discard a land. God, this card gets so much value. Wish we could give it haste in this deck. There weren't really any blue-black cards that do that. Okay, that's a lot of mana this turn. Could get a 3-drop. I guess we also need to find a sack outlet. This 5 mana, is it Overlord? Rhythm for 2 again. Getting another cub, okay. A lot of mana over there. Then 3 mana Insidious. Ah, that's what we're doing. Okay. Draw. Springleaf Drum, not great. I'm gonna start by cracking a clue. Starting Town, also not great. So let's just play Grimbauble out. Kill this untapped cub. Play that Springleaf Drum. And still just looking for a sack outlet, but I'm gonna put 1 counter on the Viper, force you to lose a bunch of life or take some damage. They have a lot of mana next turn. Down to 5 life though. Another Nature's Rhythm probably kills me somehow. Not even sure exactly how, but I'm sure it does. They start with Overlord. Can get Scooze. I guess, yeah, Scooze is gonna probably kill me. That's just so much stuff into play. Unless I can get life gain. Play the fourth. Oh no, they got a Badger Mole Cup back. Interesting. I'm not sure about that. Scooze was a lot of tokens and a lot of life gain. They probably have something else then. Be Keen-Eyed? Second rhythm for Keen-Eyed? Looks like a rhythm. Maybe something to give. I'm not sure exactly. So they'll have to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents, or I guess 2. But we really need a sack outlet. Right, Nature's Rhythm X equals 2. Just more Badger Mole Cubs. Okay, I mean, you got a lot of mana, but can't do anything with it right now. I think that Scooze would have just spelled an end for this game a little bit quicker. Draw for turn. Oh my god. That's a good one. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, 3. X equals 2, right? That's the biggest thing we got. And I think that's gonna be the end of this match. That's why you play 0-point Ballad, guys. 3 Cubs in play. Alright, cool. 2-0. Keep it going. On the draw for round 3. I don't think this hand... I don't know. We have too many mana sources, and we don't get this Viper into play fast enough. So let's send it back. I like this one a bit more. We do have the drum, so that's basically a second land. We want to send back Pursuit or Shredder. Shredder is better if we don't find one of our sack outlets, but then Pursuit gets better if we do. I think we just want more creatures. Let's do that. Mono red. I found this matchup. Oh, I guess it couldn't. Doesn't necessarily have to be mono red. Let's start on the Springleaf Drum, not give them a chance to remove our creature before we can tap it for mana. This is the Mobilize deck. So goal is to put a Shredder into play. Let's start here, and I think we should just crack the map. It's just like, it's going to be really hard to win this game if we don't find land, and then if we do, in a really good spot. So play out another Spyglass Siren, pass the turn. Pretty scared of a War Leader's Call. Just the tough turtle. Sure. Stadium Headliner. So we're taking a shoot ton of damage here. Definitely gonna block. Well. Okay. And we'll go Shredder. Tap for black. Play this. Kill the Headliner. That's 1 counter on Super Shredder. But if they go Ogier Axonil, it's called. Okay, we might just die anyway. They have Torch. Okay. Man, that deck is good. It just kills you. Okay. That is putting us to 1. Not gonna be good enough. Let's move on. Alright, I think it's pretty clear what we want here. And I think it's another one where we can go down probably 1 Riddler, 2 talent. Have the other talents just to make sure we can turbo stuff out enough. And I'll take the play. Yeah, this looks good enough. Let's keep it. We can start with Springleaf Drum, then next turn go Shredder plus Bobble. Be able to kill that stadium headliner. Right, would like to find more non-lands soon. But this Shredder might be able to just carry us to victory with the sack outlet in play. Hopefully they don't kill it right away. No. Okay. Phew. Wait. Okay. Pretty scared there for a second. That's annoying, though. Let's just get more damage in. Oh, I should have sacked the other one first, huh? Boomerang basics. That do enough now? Would have been great if we had the Grim Bobble still, but without it, I don't think it's quite good enough. Let's sack again. Prevail. Keep that one. Nice. I've been dreaming of casting a Wrath with Super Shredder in play. War Leader's Call, sure. No attacks, makes sense. Let's just get in with everybody. Play this tapped, wait for them to deploy some more creatures, and then try and win from there. Hoping to not see... I assume they have Sheltered by Ghosts in the board. Hoping to not see that. Owl Squad Heavy, sure. Alright. Bunch of damage. But I think we have lethal. Because that's gone. Shredder up to 5. And then 4 things are going to die from this. And that should be it. Done. Shredder lives. Wow. Big Shredder. Nice. Okay. Going to game 3 against, honestly, feels like it could be a bad matchup. Let's run it back. Okay. This is alright. We're going to be able to, like, ramp out this Wrath a little bit. And we'll just start with the Springleaf Drum once again. I'd like to get either Shredder or maybe a Rottenmouth Viper into play, and then go for a Wrath. Boomerang basics. I'm just gonna map this up. Grim Bobble. I think we get rid of that. And then... I think we'll play out the Spyglass Siren. Just gotta use my mana. It'll make them commit to the board a little more too. We can also go like Boomerang Basics, bounce one of our guys. Yikes. Alright, so taking a bunch of damage here. But what we can do is Grim Bobble, Boomerang Basics, the Bobble. Let's make sure we targeted that. I clicked a little fast. Boomerang Basics, the Bobble. And play the Bobble. Kill that. Storm Chaser's Talent. So this Wrath not looking great right now, but I kind of like our position. Although War Leader's Call might be too much to overcome. Owl Squad Heavy, yeah, that one's terrifying. I mean, no blocks. Super Shredder. Interesting. Guess we'll play that one out. Second map, just try and make Shredder as big as possible. Oh, do they have... Yikes. Okay. Well, I think we're just gonna die to the Howl Squad Heavy. I'll just pass, though. Oh, yeah. Super dead now. Okay. Is 4 extra? Why did that deal 5? Oh, equal to its power. Okay. We are dead. Red-white tokens looking hot. And, yeah, let's move on. We got a game, though. Once again, not even sure what happened this time. File is corrupted. First 2 games of this set are gone. We're going to game 3 against Landfall, so still going to show you guys this one, but yeah, really rather unfortunate. I might try and play a couple extra matches just because super annoying to have all this stuff deleted. But we've sideboarded a little bit, taken out the boomerang basics for better interaction. Game 1, we had an awesome start, which I would have loved to show everybody. Kind of got the nut draw where we got a turn 4 kill with like 3 giant things in play. Now, suffering a little bit from having all this interaction. Not sure if we can keep this even. I think we have to send it back. This isn't a deck that can really do enough without doing its own proactive game plan. This hand is real nice, though. I think I said earlier, Shredder super good in the Landfall matchup. But yeah, hopefully no more disruptions with the recording today. I've plugged everything in so it's in a better spot on my computer, which hopefully won't have as many issues. I'm going to send back the Riddler and get things started with a Storm Chaser's talent. Opponent leads with Fabled Passage. Cool. We'll go Springleaf Drum plus Super Shredder. Pass the turn. Setting up for a pretty nice turn next turn as well. They play like a Badgermole Cub or something of the sort. As long as Shredder survives, this art is so cool, by the way. We're going to be in a pretty good spot. Badgermole Cub is alright. Okay. That's a good draw, too. What we can do is Grim Bauble. Kill the Cub. And then we're going to have enough mana, so we have 3 mana here. We can go pay additional costs, sack these 3. We even get to keep our Otter in play. 5/5 Shredder, Rotten Mouth Viper. Pretty good turn 3. They have to lose 4 or discard a card. And the Cub is out of the way. Right? Attack with Super Shredder for 5 and pass the turn. Pretty ginormous board disparity here. I mean, that's one thing that could just end it. Let's get in. I guess we don't need to get in with this Otter. They can't take damage, so they're going to have to discard 2 cards. We'll leave the Otter back to block just in case the 1 point of damage saves us. Not sure exactly what any of the math would look like, but it's possible if their last 2 cards are just fetch plus the other thing, we just die. Might form. Hoping to not see that. Cross my fingers, I guess. Okay, they're starting on the fetch. That's good. Sure. Oh, I don't know why I thought this Promising Vein was the fault. Something fault that, like, destroys a land and makes you a treasure. The whole time I'm just thinking, that doesn't seem that great. Alright, you can fight an Otter. Fine. But, yeah, I think they're just dead on board now. Nothing really to be done about it. Win the match. Would have loved to show you the first 2 games. Maybe I'll play one more match. Just for funsies. We'll see. Either way, this game at least did a good job of highlighting the deck still. We had an even more insane draw game 1. But, yeah. pretty consistently able to do stuff like this. And again, like, this isn't something that Dimir can do against Landfall, is just put a board together by turn 3 that is unbeatable a lot of the time. So let's get into match number 5. No recording issues this time. See you then. All right, match number 5, the last one. Bit more of a fair hand here, but don't hate it. Start with a Spyglass Siren. Pass the turn. Next turn, go for this Shredder, unless we absolutely need to kill something. Like that. I think I still want to go for the Shredder, though. We have a backup one, too. If they're, like, untap, kill this, we can still go Shredder or Grimbobble. Cool, but rude. That's cool. A little bit rude, though. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what came over me. Bloodghast to the yard. Okay. Deal with that. Hoping to not see removal spell now. Or any one drop, really. Find a starting town. Not ideal. Let's go for the Grimbobble. Kill the Iron Shield Elf. And I think I'm just gonna... Well, let's go to combat and attack first. And then I think... Because if they kill a Meth Shredder in mid-combat, I'm gonna want to play the second one. But it doesn't seem like they have that now. So let's just go for the Riddler. Nice. Very good. This Grimbobble. And yeah, Shredder's getting pretty big. Just fair Shredder. Doing well here. Of course, I think they do run Requiting Hex in their deck. Another elf, but we got the answer now. Mountain, level up. Okay. We'll take 2. They discard and draw. Yikes, okay. It is getting a little bit scary, however. Probably gonna leave this Spyglass Siren back to block next turn. Oh, maybe not. Another Grimbobble is great. Let's just start with the Bobble. Kill Iron Shield Elf. See if they discard some cards in response. They don't. Okay, so maybe they have another discard outlet. Let's bounce the Grimbobble. Find a swamp. Then we'll go map on Shredder. Going all in on it at this point. And... oh, I guess maybe we should have bounced the Cool But Rude. I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, that would have been a lot better. No, let's keep that on top. Go Grimbobble. Kill the Bloodghast. Just to, like, force as many resources as we can out of them. Although, yeah, now they're just gonna get to tutor for... ugh. Bad play, bad play. Gonna get to tutor for, a removal spell for my Shredder. Yeah, I think if we just bounce the Cool But Rude, we can't possibly lose this game. Maybe they discard it, though. They discard a second Cool But Rude. Alright, they have Bitter Triumph. Oh, and they're discarding another Bloodghast. Yikes, okay. We may just be dead here. In that case. Yeah, it's a really big mistake on my part. I think we would have been able to win this one pretty easily. But it's, I think, my first time playing against Cool But Rude. So it's bound to happen. They discard Monument. And block. And I guess we have to go Shredder. Ugh. Bounce and pray we find something? That's not gonna do it. So pray they don't have a land or way to discard. This is Swamp. Alright, you're up. Do you have a land in your hand? Yes, okay. We shall die. Punted that one pretty bad, but see what we can do in the next couple games. I think we want the ooze here, and I think we can actually make, like, I think Pursuit isn't at its best. Same with Riddler. I think Riddler is just a little slower. Let's keep the Pursuit and try and go all in on it. They don't have a ton of removal. But yeah, the ooze is going to be real nice here. Hopefully we get to showcase this card as well. All right. Yeah, I'll keep this one. Ooze hard carry here. Play that and pass. Bloodthorn Flail from our opponent. I think let's just go, well, might actually be a good time to get the ooze down. That way if they discard something, they're not going to be able to do anything with it. Should have played this starting town as well. Marauding Mako is a little bit scary. See how big they decide to go with it this turn. Discarding a Bitter Triumph. Kind of feels like they probably have something else as well if they're doing that. So I think let's just go Shredder this turn and Mutagen it. And then I'll be like fairly happy to just bounce the Mako if they decide to go all in on it. Again, should have played the starting tone. Don't know what I'm doing. See if they have a Hex. I do have the Hex. We'll get 2 Mutagens. And looks like they're just attacking for 4, so instead of doing the whole bounce their Mako, we can just bobble, bounce our bobble. Yeah, I really wish I had an untapped land here. Oh yeah, gonna be able to get this Rottenmouth Viper into play pretty easily with the ooze. I think this one with our opponent stuck on one land is going to be pretty trivial from there. Oh, forgot to make an ooze token. Okay, so let's do that now. Then go Springleaf Drum, Spyglass Siren, Umbral Caller Zealot, black, cast with additional cost, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another interesting thing about Rottenmouth Viper is you can sacrifice any number of permanents. Do we want tactics, actually? I think we might, and I think we don't necessarily need Pursuit here if we're just going all in on interaction. So let's go down to 2 Pursuit. Alright, on the draw for game 3. Unfortunate, because we could have very easily won that game 1, but this is a really good hand against what they're cooking over there. Let's keep it. Shock. Bloodthorn Flail yet again. Sure. Don't love seeing lands here. I'd like a Viper, Ooze, any of the top end stuff. But so far, this deck seems to be lining up pretty well into theirs. Elf, cool. Love getting to kill that one. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna... No, I'm gonna save the boomerang on my thing and try and get them to commit more. Let's just crack a map here. Springleaf Drum, yes, into the graveyard. Immediately, please. Alright, Bloodghast gets to come back. That's alright, though. Flail. Interesting. And equip. Equipping again? Yes, okay. And, yeah, right, they have to pass. Okay, well, this one feels kind of over, actually. We're just gonna do this, and then bounce the Bloodghast. Pass the turn. And, yeah, they have to hard cast this Bloodghast now. Sack a land to equip it, but we can go Grimbauble, counter on Super Shredder. Ooh, nice. Kill that, counter on Super Shredder, and 4-1 in the league. Pretty cool stuff. Lost to the red-white tokens deck. Would have actually won all 3 games against this deck. So I'm pretty sure this deck is just really competitive right now. I've been liking it a lot. So if you're looking for a blue-black deck that can get on board a little faster than traditional blue-black midrange, highly recommend trying this out, giving it a try. It's still in the early phases of development for me too, so I'm going to be spending a lot more time trying to make it as good as possible. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a lot of work coming out, being put into this channel, and coming up, the next couple videos are going to be a little more edited and a little more informational rather than just gameplay. Kind of been looking at comments, seeing what people want, and it feels like that's the direction that I should be going in this YouTube channel, with this YouTube channel. So might be less frequent uploads, like once or twice a month, especially since I'm in college, but I hope that the stuff that I'm able to put out is very high quality and something that you guys enjoy. So thanks for watching. If you want to see that coming up, please make sure to subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter, which is where you'll get a lot of information about what's going on with me and some other, I don't know, funny stuff. I like to try and be funny on Twitter sometimes. With all that said, though, hope you guys enjoyed this awesome deck, and I'll see you in the next video. Coming soon.